Hello everybody, another video here about 5D. And before I actually begin with the video, uh, kind of like have a little chit chat, if you want to say, on this. What is important to understand this? Um, when you stay into the 3D and you evolve into the 4D, you change. You kind of like a change so much that the people who know you back into the 3D, they have to know the new you. You begin like a new person. You begin like totally different personality. You have totally different understanding. Your actions now, it's completely different. It's nothing the same as being into the 3D. The 3D, it's the 3D. When you cross the path into the 4D, then you kind of like you reincarnate. You reincarnate, but without you physically dying, because you change your consciousness. So everything that you knew into the 3D, somehow, some way, it doesn't resonate anymore with you. The same thing though, it happens into when you cross between the 4D and the 5D. And the whole thing it's begin. It's like, well, where is the truth? What happens with the truth? What happens with the situations? And it would have been nice if you kind of like you die and you got a new conscious. But now, since you have the same physical body, you kind of like have three incarnations that you have inside of you. You have the 3, 4, and the 5D. You have the memories, you know everything, and the things are a little bit more complicated. It comes into the rise the question of where is the truth? What is the truth? Uh, where is my true twin flame? Where is my true stuff? Uh, what is the issue? How I can understand this issue? How can I get out of this cycle that you kind of like you go back, you come forward, go back forward. A lot of the twin flames into the 4D. That's what is going on. They kind of like a move forward, they go to the one point, then you go back, and then again, it's like a continuous cycle. It's like one of those things. If you haven't watched certain movies, they're talking about the time loop, which is the day passing by, they killing you, then you wake up, it's the day before, and you remember everything that happened, and then you're trying to change the reality until the reality changes. So no more repeating this cycle of continuous. And this is why I enter into the problem that the most of the people who were talking for a 5D from before was actually a 4D. It wasn't the 5D. The 5D wasn't that much explored. I also seen to a lot of the videos that were made, and a lot of the people they're talking about the 5D in 3D, but they never ever talk about the 4D, the world of the duality. And this is why when you entering the 5D, you will discover that the most of the stuff that you knew about it, and you thought that was 5D, they were actually a 4D, because the 4D stuff, they're basing out of duality, they're based out of the assumption, they're based out of the things that you presume, you assume. And if you take a look at it on a 4D, the actions, they're not that much within the real world. Compared to the 5D, in a 5D, the stuff are way, way too real sometimes. It's scary real. Was given an example today. We had a little kind of like a closed workshop with some of my Bulgarian friends, and I give them an example that me and my 5D soul relationship, we were talking about stars, and she said, "Yeah, I'm watching the stars, but you know, every time I'm watching this, uh, it's a little tiny, tiny thing of stars." And I was like, "Yeah, it looks like this with a little tail, but it's a very tiny. It's the same one I've been watching." That same constellation is the Pleiades, and I posted the picture into the Facebook, and there was the questions. Well, Dio, you're telling us this, but is that the reality? And I said, yes, it is, because that's what we were talking about last night. That's what actually is, and that's what the reality is. You to be living into the real. So right now, I'm gonna make in this. Drawings I'm gonna get you, and hopefully this will kind of like helping you out, first of all, to understand uh, what is the purpose of the universe and how the universe works in these dimensions. And it's a very simple. And the other thing that it's going to be, it's to take a look at it a little bit about this cycles, how to get off of these cycles, so you can close the doors between the dimensions. You have to close the door of the 3D, you have to close the door to the 4D once you're crossing 5D. If you left the doors open in the 3D and you're in the 4D, that's going to cause you problems. This is like you bringing on a past life into the new life. If you also crossed to 5D and you left the door open between 4D and a 5D and a 4D and the 3D, now you can go back all the way forward from the one through the dimensions, and you're gonna drive yourself nuts. So I will give you an example of my personal experience. Hopefully this can help you out. That is the constellation we were talking about. So, as you know, the universe is everywhere. You have 3D, you have the 4D, and you have the 5D. So, my first relationship, that was in the 3D, talking about marriage, that was with my wife. The 4D, that was the twin flame. And right now, into the 5D, it's my 5D relationship. As you see it here, we're not putting a term because there is no term for this. We're not going to label it with any labels and anything like that. So, in all the three dimensions, the universe exists. And right now, when it comes to the situation is, okay, I had a twin flame into the 4D. Right now, I'm in a 5D soul relationship. And I also have a three-dimensional relationship wife. With with the wife, the physical life, it's kind of like over, but I'm still married. With the 4D, with the twin flame, because of the duality, the things do not work, which is basic on the reality. And now I'm right here in a 5D relationship that works. So this is over, this doesn't work, that works. So now those doors are open. As you see, you go back and forth through the dimensions. But everything else moves this direction. So what's happening with a lot of the people into when they get ignited in the 4D relationship, right in here is this. Continuous cycle. That cycle right here. Should I do it? Should I not? Should I do it? Should I not? Should I do it? Should I not? You go back and forth until you don't confess. You say, I can't deal with this anymore. I had enough. I can't fight it. I stay here in the front of the 4D. I need to enter this life. But if you're entering this life, you have to let go of this cycle. You have to break in this pattern that you have into the 3D. And for the most people, they will comes in and they will fight with it. When you're crossing into the 5D, you will have exactly the same thing. You might crossing into the 5D, but that connection that you have with the twin flame, it's gonna get you back and forth. You go, you see that you have to stay into the 5D. You see that what's going on in here in the 5D. But for one way or the reason, you go back and it's like, it's gonna work. It's gonna work with the twin flame. You're moving forward, nothing works. And you say, I have to go back to my twin flame. And during this cycle in here, you drive yourself nuts. What's happening is that if you haven't solved this issue into the 3D as well at the same time, now you are cycling, or this continuous cycle of time loop all the time, and that creates the situations of you. But you are here, you're in the 5D, you're crossing the path of the 5D, and now you're like, what should I do? What is the truth? The truth is, the universe told you, you had this wife into the 3D. You have this twin flame into the 4D. The truth is also, you're here into the 5D. They're all one big giant truth. So this is your lives. This is a stage 1, 2, and present. So what you should be focusing yourself into. During to understand all this that goes on along with it, when you fix your situation into the 3D, you are completely let go of the past. You completely let go of everything that was going on in here. You basically erase this. You erase it by living into stay into the past. You trust, you surrender, and you let it go, you leave it into the past. Because that past, you don't want to bring it here into your 5D. Otherwise, you stay here in the front of the 5D without any further evolution into the 5D. You won't be able to do what you have to do here. Because now your life, it is 5D. At the same time though, you still have to deal with this. You still have to deal with the twin flame relationship that don't work. It doesn't have anything to do with the present situation. So this has to go into the past. During this situation here, saying all this is the truth, the universe understands everything. The universe knows this doesn't work. One way or another doesn't work. You can go, you can play chase a runner, you can go ahead and see the person, the energy doesn't exist. You can go ahead and get into a premature union, and then she left you after 3 years. You're together after you buy a house and everything else. They leave you. Doesn't work. At least for 90% of the people. So if it's for the 90% and some of the people, this is the case that's gonna go. Because the universe, it brings you here for the universe purpose. You're here because the universe brought you in to the 5D. By understanding you're in a 5D relationship right now, this right here, it's the same situation as you were on the 4D with into the 3D. When you realize first you are in a discontinuous cycle of recycling every day, of this time loop thinking inside of your conscious, you would understand that this doesn't serve any purpose because of this. And you will find a way inside of you to delete this. And the only way you can disconnect from the twin flame is when you trust, surrender, and let go to the universe. Because universe now brought you here. So this is the past. When it becomes the past, then this situation here also is going to be gone to be a past. Now, there's going to be something very interesting happen here into the 5D. This is going to be the time when you will understand that when you are coexisting one of those dimensions here, basically you're 33% here, 33% here, and 33% here. Now you will understand that the energy that you have, it's going to rise up. And you're going to be forcing yourself to put everything that it needs to be on all levels. It doesn't matter what level is, what the situation is. You're going to be increase all this to be a focus 100% up here. When you reach that 100%, if you watch a previous video when I was explaining to you the boxes, the issues that you're working out with your relationship, when everything reaches 100, this is gonna reach 100. And this is going to be a time for union, that your soul, together with the universe, is seeking truth, is seeking the situation. And the most important part of all this, as always, is connected to the trust, surrender, and let go. For example, the timeline of your life, and you're stuck here, and you have this recycling situation. That realization here, that realization, it's gonna be your hardest thing you to swallow, you to understand. Once you understand that you're in this cycle, repeating loop time into, you have to understand to tell yourself this is like a living in the hell. It keeps repeating itself and I cannot go and move forward. This issue could be for so many things. You can have an issue as far as money. You're stuck. You say like, well, my relationship acts similar as my 3D person. I have no idea about the 4D. So right now you are stuck on that. My issue could be relationships. All of a sudden he likes to have a relationship with others. Now you're looking at, probably that's what I'm stuck into it. This could be material stuff. Buying stuff, buying things. Could be a business. It could be a religion. The worst part in the cases could be all of this. So now you have to decide in yourself with the realization that this 3D part, as you live into the 5D, this, it should not exist. Because if it does exist, you bring in that nasty energy inside of the 5D. Where this, first of all, it doesn't resonate, and it's not in the right place for the right dimension. Simply because you have the memories, like a memories from a past life inside of you, that you bring this up here. Situations may be similar, situations may be the same, the money may be situation are the same, but now the 5D understands it. The relationship may be the same, but 5D understands it. Material stuff, business, religion, all that stuff, they're coming in from 5D point of view of life. And a lot of the conflicts that's gonna comes in is when you look at it at the 5D, but you're comparing to what you know into the 3D, because you have no other base to comparing it, because in the 5D you're just born. You have no experience here. You don't understand this. You're just born into a different consciousness inside of you. And that's why a lot of the people have to understand how important it is you to lose the past. You to lose the past, basically that you stay away as a past life. And you let it go of that past life. you let it go. You trust the universe to bring you to the 5D. You trust the universe to help you to understand your life into the 5D. And you to go ahead and move into that new conscious of understanding that's going to help you to have real, complete life together within the universe. Thank you so much. I hope this video helped you out, and you guys be love.